Hello viewers, Banoon here again. Today we're gonna do another train simulator video, obviously. Um, but we're going to do it a little bit different this time. Um, the last two videos we primarily focused on the intercity trains and specifically the VIRM train. We will continue with intercity trains in later videos again, but I want to focus on the regional trains as well for a bit, because they're also really important in the Netherlands. Today I have chosen another quite nice scenario for you guys to enjoy, and I will also try to teach you guys on how to drive this train yourself. Because today we will be driving the NS SLT train, which stands for Sprinter Lighttrain. So basically, we're gonna just read this prompt, and then I'll show you guys we can get this train started. So, good afternoon or good evening. At this beautiful summer evening, you have the opportunity to take the Sprinter from Utrecht to Baarn. You will stop at every station in this journey. Good luck. So let's just close that. Let's get started. So this is the SLT from the outside. We are already at Utrecht Central Station, because it will not be our final destination like the last two videos. It will be our begin station. So let's get in the cabin with one. I need to fix that, because this sound mod I got installed for that train over there is a little bit eerie. So excuse me for that, because some mod makers make mistakes as well, and that train doesn't have the correct noises. But let's get started, shall we? I think because it's in the evening, it's very important to put on the instrument lights. So you do that by pressing Control F12. Then you can always see what you're actually doing. It's quite important. Then we start the A to B again with you. This train has a combined lever, so we do not have a separate brake, which normally is displayed there, but we do not have that today, because our deceleration can go into the minus percentages, and then it brakes the train basically. That's the brake of this train, but I'll show it to you so it becomes more clear later. Let's just carry on with what we need to do. We need to put on our headlights with H, and we need to select our destination with the Control F10 and Control F9 buttons. Our destination is Baarn. Let's see if it's actually in there. I think it is. Yes, there it is. Baarn. Our destination has been set. Our reverse drive still needs to be put in forward. And now we can let the passengers board. So it's quite busy, just like in real life. There's a lot of activity going on, a lot of trains here. That's the new SNG coming, I believe. I think that is the SNG coming from Zwolle. And we have just received a bus, but we need to wait. The left doors are still opened, and when this button is green, then we can go, and we can go. So let's go. Oh yeah, we will not forget the deadman switch, obviously. So we're just going to head to Utrecht Overvecht, which is another station in Utrecht, only regional train stop over there. Where we're basically heading east again, but this time a little bit more northern than the other line we have been driving through in the first video. So we're not heading towards like the Arnhem direction, we're heading towards more like the Amersfoort Apeldoorn direction first, but we will branch off after. We will not branch off to Amersfoort. We will not stop there. I'll tell you in a minute. Okay. So we can increase some speed. Signal is green, no problems. Let's increase speed a little, because the good to know is the Sprinter trains actually can accelerate and decelerate pretty quickly, so you don't have to worry too much about braking too late. You can be a little bit more radical with the traction. Because a Sprinter is also made to accelerate and stop really quickly. Oh, we're going too quickly. We can't, of course, go above the speed limit. And we're almost there. That is Utrecht Overvecht, so let's decrease some speed, because we have to go through a switch, I believe. No, we don't, but still, it's good to 60 kilometers an hour when approaching a train station. It's always a good speed. Okay, we have 6. We're a long train, so we have to stop at the absolute end, because this station was made for short trains. And you can brake 100% with this train. It does not activate the emergency brake. The emergency brake is totally different. So don't worry if you by accident, just like me, just hit like 100% in the minus with the combined handle, because it's completely normal. It happens. Try to avoid it, because it's probably decreases your score a little bit, but if it happens, don't worry too much as well. So we're now heading towards Beeldhoven. Will take us a little bit longer to get there. This is the switch where you can branch off to Hilversum, or other trains can branch off to Hilversum. And you know that junction we just hit, that right there, that's like one of the very few which just actually has, which is actually a 90 degrees junction. We do not have them a lot here. We do not have those crossings a lot here. Those train crossings. That was one of the very few. Because There's a nice history fact about that. That was the old railroad, because Utrecht station, Central Station, was at a different location like 100 years ago or a couple of 100 years ago. I don't know the exact when it was exactly, but they decided to move the station to increase capacity. And now at the location of the old station of Utrecht is the Dutch National Railway Museum, and the station is now called Utrecht Malibaan. So every train that will go there is like a museum train. So basically, there's always a train from Utrecht Central Station going to Utrecht Malibaan, and that's basically the museum of all the Dutch trains. So old antique trains are all stored there, and it's really nice to go to when you're visiting Utrecht. It's really a good travel tip of mine. When you go to Utrecht, visit that museum. It's really nice, especially if you're into trains. Okay, so now we have to decrease our speed again to 130, but I have to slow down a little bit more because we're coming close to Beeldhoven. And we want to get to the 60 kilometers an hour speed again. There we go. We don't want to go too slow, but I'll also not miss this station. What I just did. Okay, good time for me to explain one thing. If you have just missed a station like I just did, try to do the following. Don't worry, first of all. Put your gear in neutral, put your handle in neutral, disable the brake, put your reverser in the reverse mode, obviously. You can do this by holding S until it reaches the minus 100%. Give the train a little bit of traction and just roll back. Don't go too quickly. And you solve the situation. And put your reverse back into forward. It happens sometimes. Every train brakes differently, and it's a little bit annoying sometimes. And I'm not a train driver expert myself anyway as well, so don't expect me to always be perfect in what I do. You will also still see me make mistakes in my videos, even though I'm teaching you guys about the trains. I'm also teaching myself in the process, because I'm trying to improve my train sim driving skills. Because believe it or not, I've just started playing this game this year as well. Because I had a love for trains and I was bored. And I had a budget, because obviously driving through Dutch scenery with Dutch trains and all the necessary DLC to be able to drive through these maps cost a lot of money. And I must admit myself, it was quite an investment, and it was quite a steep one. So yes, that was quite... My wallet didn't really like that. But now I'm enjoying it every single day. It's really relaxing and it's really enjoyable, because it's just like every little kid's dream Because I wanted to be a train driver when I was a small boy. But obviously now I have other ambitions, but this game still allows me to kind of do that. So still to be able to enjoy the things that I do like about trains. Sometimes I have to be a little silent because I need to focus on what's happening in front of me. Just don't want to miss the station again. And that's why I find it so important you have the correct approach speed, because you saw me going in that station Beeldhoven just there, and you saw how easy it is to just, even though when you're approaching with 60 kilometers an hour, how easy it is to just drive just drive by and not stop correctly. It's sometimes it's a literal pain in the ass. So here we are at Den Dolder, and we have to leave again because we're just a regional train, and we don't have to wait for other trains. Other trains are probably waiting for us because this is an intercity train route, and regional obviously. I'm not allowed to go above 60 yet because this sign tells me that I need to maintain a speed of 60. Probably because I need to go through some switches to branch off to Baarn. Yes, because now what the next job is we have to go through Soest, and this is branching off towards Soest in the end. Oh, I'm going a little bit too quickly. The game doesn't like that because the game is a little too strict sometimes, and now we can increase our speed back to 130. I've never been on this line myself towards Soest, so I'm also pretty curious to see what it looks like. I've been on a lot of lines in the Netherlands, but not every single one, so don't have too high expectations. This is also new for me. Decrease our speed to 40 in a minute. Okay, that's quite steep, so I'm not going to increase my speed anymore. Let's look what the signs and signals have to say, because now this is another point of focus. Yes, there the A to B tells us to slow down to 40 kilometers an hour. Important thing to know is ATB. The ATB always gives you a notification 1 kilometer before you actually have to maintain the speed it tells you to maintain. I will also just show you in a video what happens if you ignore the ATB just completely. I will also show you guys what happens then, because I think that's also pretty interesting. Because the ATB has all different kinds of bells and whistles and rings and whatever, so I think that's also pretty informative. So this is station Soest Zuid. Try and pronounce that. Okay, was just making sure that we would actually stop there. So with a pretty epic fail if we manage to go past this station. Would be quite funny. Let's depressurize the brake a little, so we can have a more smooth start with the depart. And there we go again. This is quite weird because Soest is actually just a small town, but it has like 3 stations, and this line is all curvy and whatever. It's Soest is unique with its train line that just goes through the town. Because that I've not been on my life, that I've not been on this line myself, doesn't mean I've not done any research at all about this line. I do know what it looked like on Google Maps and whatever, so I have done my research before this, so I actually knew what I was getting into before starting up this scenario. But I didn't know what the ATB speeds were going to be. But yeah, this was probably quite obvious because this is quite a curvy line. So we wouldn't be going through this line with 80 kilometers an hour. It would be a little bit ridiculous. But I don't know. I've not been on this line myself in real life, like I said. So I don't know. That's the church. We got a red signal. We need to wait for another train. And we can check if a train is coming by pressing a key in a minute, but let's just disable the demo switch. I'm just going to check if there's actually a train coming or that we need to... Yeah, there is a train on the line, so we have to wait for the train to come. And that train is departing from the station we need to be at. The next station. So we have to stay here a little more. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the whole map. In the first video we did this. So this was Arnhem Central. And this is what we did. So we stopped at Ede-Wageningen, or that, no, wait, that's not there, that's here, obviously. Ede-Wageningen. And we stopped at, what was it again? Veenendaal-de-Klomp, this station. And then we went to Utrecht Central Station here, where we just left off. And now we have driven this. And we're here right now. Interesting to know. Some maps do not always have good traffic programmed in them, and then there's a trick for you to bypass the red signal, but I'm gonna teach you that in another video. if that actually if that's actually is necessary. But now it's not necessary because this map has been programmed pretty well, made pretty well. So there is an actual train coming. There's no error going on. So we just need to have patience. I just temporarily disable the deadman switch because otherwise it starts beeping and buzzing and whatever. It gets pretty annoying, and then it will set the train in neutral again, and that's pretty annoying. Okay, that is the A to B telling me we can depart again with a speed of 40 kilometers an hour. Enable the deadman switch again. And we're going. So the next station is Soest, which is the last station of Soest. I will also show you some regional trains from other train companies like Arriva and Connection and some others in later videos as well, because they use different trains and those are quite interesting as well. But for now I'll keep showing you guys a couple of more NS trains. Just to keep it simple, because I think probably you guys who are watching this will probably use the NS trains the most, because like the other train companies are like pretty for remote areas and such. They drive to remote areas with remote stations and stuff. But I will still show you it, but just later. We actually have to stop here. And I don't know for what reason. But the signal is red, so we cannot proceed. Let me see, that's the deadman switch, I believe. I've just disabled it because I don't know what actually is going on. What are we waiting for? There's literally no reason why so maybe after all we are gonna use the method I was talking about to bypass the signal, because it seems like there is an error. Because this is our final destination. And this is our second last station. And the signal is on red, and the next one, which is on the right side, is green. I'm a bit confused, and the one after that is yellow. So we will have to use the method, and I'm going to tell you right now. How do you bypass a red signal when it's not valid? And you only do this when you have absolutely checked the map, like I just did with the 9 key. I mean the key 9 on your keyboard. It's really simple. Just look at the red signal, press tab, and then it should tell you this. If it's disapproved, do not continue. Do not proceed. Only when it's approved you are allowed to bypass this red signal. So now when I do that in future videos, you know how to do it, hopefully. And otherwise I'll try to remind you guys if you have forgotten, by leaving a comment in the description. You can let me know if you have forgotten it, then I will try to answer it and say again how to do it. So this is the next station, Soest, and after this we will reach our final destination, Baarn. Oh, I meant to stop there, but we're stopping here instead. So, couple of important things learned already. Let's just maybe take a peek outside. I have to press the shift enter key while I'm doing this because otherwise the train is in stress. The back of the train looks nice. And the passenger view is quite accurate. And let's leave the station. Let's see what happens next. Because random things can happen in train scenarios. Also remember that if things do not go to plan, don't worry, just try to deal with the situation accordingly. So try to, like what I just did, just try to bypass the red signal. With some scenarios you will also see some trains which are timed wrong. So basically what I mean with that is you will see like trains still like standing still doing nothing, and then they will start driving out of nowhere and they will start loading passengers. And I'll show you that in another video because I know one scenario which does that. Then I can show you what I mean. But that's for a future video. Some videos which I will do will be so long that I will probably also split them up in 2 parts. Just a warning ahead, because some maps I've downloaded and the lines on there and the routes on there take like ages, like I mean actual hours to complete sometimes. I will do them, but then I will split the video up in 2 parts or more, depending on the length. Don't ask me when I'm going to start with foreign routes, because honestly I'm just focusing on Dutch routes right now, because I know what to say about how to control the trains and everything what there is to know about the locations I'm driving through and such. With foreign routes I just have to like just dig in deeper into the actual content before I make the video, so I know what to say to you guys, because otherwise it's just me also just constantly trying to find things out, because I have driven this train a couple of times before I actually made this video. I've not driven this scenario, this is the first time actually trying out this scenario, but I have driven this train before I made this video. So that's why I still know things to say, and I know this location for example as well in real life. So I know also what to say about the location. That's why it's kind of important for me to dig into some maps and content before I make videos. So I will try to maintain like at least 2 videos a week, but sometimes there will be less, maybe 1 or maybe none, depending on if I can find new things that are really interesting, or other things that I can add. But for now you don't have to worry about that, because I have tons of content to come, because I still have a lot of scenarios and a lot of trains to show to you guys. So don't worry about that yet. But when the time comes, I will let you guys know when the content will be a little bit more. This is just a heads up for the future. I'll maybe also do a Q&A video later on, but that's just when I get more subscribers and the channel is a little bit more successful. So this is our final destination, Baarn, which I haven't seen. I mean the station, that is. Looks quite nice. Obviously this looks a little bit different in real life, but this is a accurate representation, I think, of it in real life. I think no intercity train stop here, I think. It tells me that I've not succeeded this scenario. Let me see why. Probably for a ridiculous reason again, just like last video. Yeah. I think it has ignored my attempts at like Soest and stuff. Yeah, it hasn't fully registered my me picking up some passengers correctly. So yeah, not really a big error or whatsoever. So nah, I'm quite satisfied with how things have gone. So that's it for today's video again. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you want to leave some feedback, or if you have a question, just leave a comment. And if you loved the video and you would like to see more content, then maybe think of subscribing. I'll see you guys later.